Hi, I'm Nagarajan. I'm a professor in the Department of Chemical Engineering at IIT Madras, and I'm also currently the head of the department. I want to welcome you to our first ever virtual reception at the annual AI ChE meeting. It's great to host all of you. As an alumnus of the department here, maybe I'm biased, but I'm very proud of it. I think we do several things very well, starting with faculty recruitment. I'm very happy that nearly 10 out of our 30 faculty have come on board in the last 7 years. We are a very young department. Don't judge by looking at me. There are many others who are just starting their careers, and they are doing remarkably well in their research. We have a wonderful set of young faculty who are very positive about their work and about the department and about IIT Madras itself. We are also fortunate to have the IIT Madras Research Park right next door to us. IIT Madras is still the only academic institution in India with an affiliated research park, and we take full advantage of it. Many of our faculty have worked closely with companies that are located in research park. Some of us have startups that are in research park. Research Park serves a dual purpose. It is our portal to industry. Industry is able to locate their R&D right next door to us and work with us very closely. And it's also a very nurturing environment for innovation and entrepreneurial activities. We are looking for faculty recruits. We currently have an ad out for assistant professors and associate professors in any area of chemical engineering. The requirement is that the applicant should have at least one degree in chemical engineering, but that's about it. We are taking applicants of all nationalities. Foreign citizens can also apply, and they can either get contract positions for 5 years, or we also have a new program by which faculty can spend 3 years and build their resume. Of course, we are very fortunate to have bright undergraduate students and a very, very good crop of master's students, both MTech as well as MS, and our PhD students. The strength is growing yearly. Our annual research group per faculty is now about 6. And our postdoctoral fellow count has also increased rapidly in the last couple of years. We now have more than 20 in our department. So I think it's a great place if you are a recent PhD or doing your postdoc and you're looking for an academic position. You need look no further. Do talk to us. We are also interested in building research collaborations, and we're always on the lookout for partner universities and peers who can work with our faculty and write high impact papers and come out with game-changing technology products. And we are also open to student exchanges, and both at undergraduate level as well as at graduate level. Visiting professors, chair professorships, it's all on the anvil. And we also offer postdoctoral positions to PhDs. So I think there are many, many ways in which we can work together. And I hope that this reception is the start of a close relationship. And I look forward to interacting with many of you over time. And I'm sure my colleagues join in this wish as well. So have a good time at the conference, and happy Diwali to everyone.
I'm Raghunathan Rangaswamy, faculty in the Department of Chemical Engineering and Dean of Global Engagement at IIT Madras. I work in the areas of process systems engineering, data science, and machine learning. We have a very wonderful group of faculty who work in this area in our department, working on both fundamental and application aspects of systems engineering and machine learning, data science, and so on. IIT Madras does transformational, fundamental, and translational research in various fields of engineering. There is also an IIT Madras Research Park, which is co-located with the IIT Madras campus. And this allows our faculty to have rich interactions with industry and governmental research labs and so on. As part of the Office of Global Engagement, we look at our collaborations with universities abroad. IIT Madras has had a rich tradition of internationalization. This office started in the year 2008. And with Professor Nagarajan, this office grew quite a bit, and I've taken over recently in this position. We are really interested in improving our internationalization in terms of collaborative activities with universities. Students come to IIT Madras to pursue research and pursue degree programs and so on. We have currently about 275 MOUs and 18 joint doctoral program agreements and 1 joint master's program agreement. Last year, we had about close to 200 students from abroad who visited our campus in one or the other program. Our campus is a beautiful campus. We live with deer and other animals in the bustling city of Chennai. Chennai is called the gateway to the south of India. And it's a city with a rich cultural heritage, most prominent among them being the music festival in the months of December and January, which is one of the largest music festivals anywhere in the world. We invite applications from foreign nationals for our tenure track programs. And as I mentioned before, we look forward to engagement with faculty and students abroad who are interested in pursuing academic activities at IIT Madras. We are also interested in welcoming undergraduate students for their study abroad programs and so on. I hope I'll see some of you in the campus in the near future, and thank you very much.
Hi all, I'm Himanshu. I'm a new faculty in the Department of Chemical Engineering at IIT Madras. I joined here in September last year, and before moving back to India, I was a postdoc in the US at the University of Delaware. So after spending about 6 years in US, me and my wife, we decided to move back to India. And while making this transition, we had a lot of questions and concerns, which I'm sure many of you might be having. So I thought it's a good idea that I share my personal journey of moving back from US to India, and you may find it helpful. So before making this transition, we had a set of criteria we were looking for in a city we are going to live after returning to India. So apart from having an excellent educational institute like IIT, other things we were looking for in a city were like good job opportunities for my wife, good air quality, good medical facilities, and nearby airport. And Chennai was one of the few cities which satisfied all this criteria. So after moving back to India, here in Chennai, we live inside the IIT Madras campus, which is like a green bubble in the middle of the city. So in the campus, it's quite green, and initially a new faculty gets a 1-bedroom apartment, and with time, you get bigger and bigger apartment. So inside the campus is quite peaceful, close to nature, and whenever we need to use city amenities, we can just go outside the campus, and within few kilometers, there are a lot of malls, restaurants, and all the basic stuff you might be needing on a day-to-day basis. And there was, apart from all this good point, there was one concern I had about Chennai was the climate. It's quite hot and humid for most of the year, but you get to enjoy the winters which is like a pleasant summer. So overall, it has been a good. I'm glad that I made this transition, and I'll be happy to answer your questions about life in general at IIT Madras, about the city, or any question you might be having regarding your transition from US to India. You can email me at goyal@iitm.ac.in. You can also find my contact details at IIT Madras website. I'll be happy to get back to you and answer your questions. So I'll stop here and wish you all the best with your applications. Bye.
Hello, welcome to this interaction program with the Department of Chemical Engineering, IIT Madras. I'm going to make a few comments regarding living on campus. It started for me about 25 years ago when I joined this place, and as soon as I came to know of the campus and got familiar with it, my top priority was to live in campus. And I remember negotiating with administrative people at that point to get a house within the campus as soon as possible. And this is a fairly unique model, not just in academic institution, but public sector units and even private sector large organizations in India. And in this case, for example, faculty and students are largely residents of this campus. It's sort of begins with very early in the morning itself with the chirping of birds, and IIT Madras has very rich biodiversity, flora, fauna. So just getting out with a cup of tea in the morning, looking around is itself very positive. And my commute itself, I mean, you start out a day and when you head out to office with all your sort of invigorating ideas and with enthusiasm, the commute itself becomes very reinforcing in terms of positivity. And so I've enjoyed living in campus such as this, and it sort of hit quite strongly at one of the times, maybe about 7-8 years ago, when we were discussing about a retreat amongst our department colleagues, where we were thinking, where to go, and some of us had been to a couple of such places which could be possible locations for retreat. And when we were describing these locations, that it's a nice green place, there are tennis courts, swimming pool, then you can go around on a walk or a cycle ride, and suddenly everybody looks around and started staring at me as to why is this person sort of saying all these things are advantages which are day in, day out true for us. And so it reinforces the point that within a metropolitan city like Chennai, living in such a campus is indeed a great luxury. And in terms of having access to lab and office at the times of my own choice have been a set of priorities for me. I know also alternately there are people who work 8 to 6 or whatever 9 to 5, and they are extremely efficient in terms of achieving what they set out to do during a day. And so of course within our department itself about 1/4 of faculty members do live in Chennai. So it will be helpful to also hear from them about how is it to live in a city like Chennai. With these remarks, I'll be very happy to answer any questions that you have regarding life on campus. Thank you.
The soothing effect of the IIT campus. You feel it as soon as you enter. The din of traffic is replaced by the pleasant sounds of birds and insects. When you leave behind the crowds and start observing the inhabitants of this lush campus, you will come across a striking inhabitant, the spotted deer, for which the campus is well known. Not without reason have these animals been described as the most beautiful deer in the world. Very soon you will spot other ubiquitous inhabitants, the bonnet macaques. Other campus residents like the black buck are harder to spot. Nonetheless, you may see some of these impressive animals as you proceed. You may chance upon other IITians going about their business. A pair of grey mongooses, a mother and her young one. When you start looking, you become aware that there are actually many more living beings whose diversity is astonishing. You recognize that you are in the midst of a whirl of life, a fascinating melange. Nature's plenitude will provoke your curiosity and trigger many questions in your mind. You will endeavor to find answers to your questions about this fascinating microcosm of nature by choosing to perceive the details of particular facets. For instance, you may become a bird watcher and focus your attention solely on the birds. You may choose to venture into their habitat in order to closely observe them. This will be a rewarding exercise since more than 100 species of birds have been recorded in the campus. Even as you engage with the birds, other creatures will clamor for your attention. Reptiles, for example. There are lizards, snakes, turtles, and tortoises. Why? In the 1980s, there were crocodiles in IIT, like the one in this picture. You find that beside the deer and the monkeys, there are other mammals around. Jackals, civets, bats. There are clouds of butterflies and dragonflies. As you follow these winged beings, you will discover fascinating places in the campus.
Hi, this is Jitin John Varghese, an assistant professor in the Department of Chemical Engineering at IIT Madras. I'm here to talk to you a little bit about teaching here at IIT Madras and some of my experiences with this in the last couple of years. With a world-renowned undergraduate program and a very strong, fast-growing postgraduate program, teaching here caters to both of these segments with core courses, a wide range of electives, and laboratory modules which comprise both experimental as well as computational labs. The Department of Chemical Engineering has been very sensitive to the needs of the new faculty and ensures that they are not burdened with a heavy teaching load when they start. This is a much needed flexibility when you start that allows us to set up the research labs as well as start the research groups. The department also offers a lot of flexibility in opting for the courses of your choice through a 3-year rotation policy. So my teaching journey at IIT Madras started with me being a co-instructor in one of the undergraduate laboratories. This exposed me to a large undergraduate class and without the burden of having to deal with them independently in a theory module. I offered an elective course for the postgraduate students, and I felt electives are wonderful opportunities to connect with graduate students and talk to them about your research and spread the word about your research. These much smaller and focused groups are also excellent platforms for you to test out some of your ideas about teaching, and they are much more amenable to the experimental teaching methods that you want to try out. And with some of these experiences, in this semester, I also took up the core course for an undergraduate program. Unfortunately, COVID-19 situation demanded that we move to an online or a virtual platform. With the other experiences, I was fairly prepared to deal with a large class, although adapting to a virtual platform came with its own challenges. But to summarize, my experiences in teaching over the last couple of years has been thoroughly enriching as well as very fulfilling. So I welcome you all to try this opportunity to shape some of the best minds and their futures.
Hi, welcome to AICHE reception. I'm Arvind Kumar and I'm a faculty at IIT Madras, Department of Chemical Engineering since 2016. I'm here to share some of my greatest experiences prior to joining the institute, especially at the interview stage, and also my experience after joining the institute. And I was applying for faculty positions back in like late 2015, and IIT Madras was one of my options. And when I applied, in less than 2 weeks, I've got a call for 2 to 3 weeks. I've got call for interview. That is to give a talk in the department. And I was really surprised. Typically, no institute is that fast. In less than 3 weeks, someone is writing back to you to give a talk in the department because they like your profile. That is excellent. So they gave two options. Either I can come in person or I can give on through Skype or whatever the online mode that's available. So I prefer to come like in person. And I came here. And so it was the time when Chennai was completely flooded by water back in 2015, December 2015. The department really took care of everything so beautifully, starting from my accommodation to the travel and everything. It was excellent, and they also made a plan in such a way that I talked to HOD first, and then they also made other arrangements like the faculty members whom I'm interested to talk to on that day, followed by the seminar. So essentially, the day one went like this. I came in, I met the then HOD Professor Kannan. He said he read all my research proposal, teaching statement. I was not really expecting them to, the HOD to read all the thing. I was expecting the faculty search committee should have read all those things. But he said, I read your teaching statement and it was excellent. You know, something you kind of get a feel that they are paying attention to the application, the finer details of the application. So when you apply, make sure that you really write a fantastic research proposal and teaching proposal. Otherwise, you're going to lose the attention of few people, especially the faculty search committee. And then I met a series of people. I had a nice coffee and tea during that day. I had a fantastic lunch with a bunch of people, and I gave a seminar, and everything went well. So on that day, I also got called from other institutes in India, really well known, real big ones, supposedly big ones than IIT Madras. And in fact, after the day one at IIT Madras, I felt I really want to get a position at IIT Madras because, you know, people are too nice, actually. There's no such thing called hierarchy. Something I couldn't see that on that day. It was really excellent. It was really excellent. The hierarchy was completely missing out, and so that really made me to think that I should not get any other place. I should get only at IIT Madras. Then I was called for second round of interview sometime in February, and the director, Professor Bhaskar Ramamurthy, was one of the chairpersons interviewing me. And I was expecting them to ask me about basic questions, but you know what I asked, like the vision that I have for the institute, like 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line, 20 years down the line, something of that sort. So they really look into something like someone who can bring in visionary ideas and implement it here. And have they done something like that in the past? So that's what they really look into. And then I've joined the institute, and the institute gave me good startup money. And in the last 3.5 years, I have attracted more funding than anyone else would even attract abroad in most of the Western countries. I've attracted nearly 9 crores INR, which is more than plus manpower, 1.1 million US dollars, more than 1.1 million US dollars, plus manpower money. So my lab is extremely sophisticated. Whatever you could imagine for solar cells and solar fuels research, I do have them with me. And the labs, and also if someone is very dedicated and determined to do something really big, IIT Madras would definitely go to any extent. And also there are very good bunch of Indian funding agencies which it gives so much of money to do research. If one is determined to get money to do good research, they will get it anyway in India. Um, I'm honestly saying more than Europe or US, getting money in India is far easy. And about the quality of the students, students are really awesome here. So most often in the past, I've heard like most of the students who are good, like me, I went abroad for my master's, PhD, postdoc, everything. I thought like many people would go out if they are even moderately good. But then after coming here, I realized that students here are extremely excellent. They can do anything starting from like a standard chemistry to building an instrument and then do programming, anything. So my research group at IIT Madras work predominantly on solar fuels and solar cells. And none of the chemical engineers really do study any of these topics. But as soon as they come in, they really learn all these things and they do extraordinary research. And you know, my first paper in the independent career is from Angawantashimi International Edition. I think that's the best thing that can happen. From India, people say that it's very difficult to get papers in high impact journals, and we've got it because I have a good student, I have a great bunch of money with good facilities, and thirdly, I have a great bunch of collaborators. The system at IIT Madras is made in such a way that if you are oriented towards developing products and commercialize it, they'll support it. If you're really interested in working on a fundamental science, they do support it. So you can take any part. By the way, most of you are aware that IIT Madras has almost like more than 130 companies in its research park, and almost all the companies are incubated from the outcomes from IIT Madras. So the support system is very good. We have a fantastic common central facilities. We have industry relations office if you're a person who would like to work with industries quite a lot. And we have incubation centers, and we have a complete research part where your ideas from the lab can go into the commercial market. So my like bottom line for my last 7 minutes of talk is, if you're a person with a challenging vision and great aspiration to do fantastic research, I think you should really come out and apply to IIT Madras Chemical Engineering. And I can guarantee you that you will not be disappointed even a single moment. And in the last 4 years, I was never disappointed. I never even thought that, or I never even regret anything on in the department. Everything is fantastic. Everything is fantastic. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show my facilities in another 3 minutes, so that just not by words. I think you will also believe seeing things by eyes, right? So I'm going to do that.